to my channel. I'm Emmy R. Bennett, and this is Emmy's Creative Corner, and I want to show you a simple way to make pumpkin puree without making a huge mess. If you're interested, stay tuned. So here's my small kitchen, and I've invited you in to see how I take one of these pumpkins, and instead of slicing them, we're going to bake them whole in the oven, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So the first step, I place both my pumpkins on a cutting board. I wash the pumpkins. I use vinegar and water. You don't want to use soap, because if you use soap, there's pores in the pumpkin and it can get into the pores. I have washed and towel dried these pumpkins already, and the first thing I do is I slice through them. You know, we bought these pumpkins at Costco, so they're sugar pumpkins, and they have a sweetness to them. They're perfect for baking pies and pumpkin bread. My family loves pumpkin bread, so these will be made probably for pumpkin bread in the future. And what I do is I begin by slicing around the top. Now, not everybody does that, but the reason I do it is because when you pull out of the oven, it's easy to just take your oven mitt and pull the top off, and then you can grab the innards. You can always just do this and wait and have it all, you know, baked first and then cut the top, but I prefer to cut the top first. The other thing is you want to make sure that you poke slices in the sides of your pumpkin, because otherwise it would burst and make a huge mess in your oven, and you don't want that. So we are going to start by slicing around the top here. I go at a little bit of an angle because you really don't want to have that lid fall. October is one of my favorite times of year. One of the first things that we go and do at the beginning of October is grab our sugar pumpkins. And of course, my kids are excited about the month of October too, because then they get to have the pumpkin bread that they've waited all year for. Now, I don't can my pumpkin puree. I actually freeze it, and freezer safe is a Ziploc bag, and then they go in the freezer. In fact, I think I still have some from last year. So that was easy enough, right? So I just go ahead and put that back in there, and then we will start on the other one. When I found out about how much easier it is to do pumpkin puree this way rather than slicing them, I've never gone back the other way. Because when you slice them, they dry out and you lose half the pumpkin, and then it's very hard to puree. But this is like the best method I've come across so far now. So then I'm going to cut at an angle downward this way, and I'm only going to do the top part. I'm not going to do down here. If you do down here and you go too low, then the juices are going to fall all over, and then you're going to lose a lot of the juices that come in the nutrients of the pumpkin, and then you're going to lose a lot of the puree on that. Not only that, it makes a huge mess, because I made that mistake once, and it got all over the tray that I use, and we're going to use this as a tray. And it also got down onto my oven floor and everything, and that might be the reason why my oven broke, which is why we have a new stove now. and I'm absolutely loving the new stove that we've got. So I'm going to poke holes at the tops here. Like I said, not too far down. And the reason you want to do this, like I said before, is you don't want the pumpkin to explode in your oven. And you want to be able to have that pressure not build up on the inside. And just 4 or 5 holes will do the trick. Alright, so now we have our pumpkins ready. And don't forget to preheat your oven to about, well, some people do 350. I like to do about 250. I like to have it slowly cook. Sometimes people cook it at 350 and they do, it's faster, but it's your preference. Between 250 to 350 is fine. I prefer to do 250, so I forgot to preheat my oven. I should have done that already, but that's okay. So, I'm going to use this cookie sheet with a grate. This way, when the pumpkin's juices possibly fall onto the pan, they'll fall below here and it won't soak the bottom of my pumpkin. So, I will set them in here and we'll put it in the oven. I'm not going to wait for my oven to preheat. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in now. And that will take about 3 hours, so I'll be back to check on it, and then we'll finish with our pumpkin and puree it. Okay, so we have pulled them out of the oven and they're a little hot to the touch. So I'm going to let them cool off for a few minutes and we'll come back and I'll show you how I take them apart. So these are hot and I can just pull these tops off. I'm going to use a pad because I know that they're going to be hot when I pull them open. But the steam, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. But they lift right out and it just makes it easy for me when I go to take out the pumpkin. I wanted to show you how I go from here. I do lay them so I do take the tops and lay them down here. But the first thing I do is I score the skin, and I don't want to go too far. I just want to do just past the skin. But I just score this down just a little bit, just enough, not a lot. Ooh, hot. Hot. And I'm going to let that cool off while I go to the next one. The tops aren't so hot anymore. So if I take and I cut all the way through the flesh, the sides are going to fall down and then it's going to be harder for me to peel it. So I'm going to just go beyond, just beyond the skin. Just like that. I'm going to let these cool down just a little bit more. They are extremely hot. These have cooled down a little bit and we are going to start peeling. I just start peeling them off. And it's really easy. And I should probably get the camera closer so that you can see. But You just take it and it peels down. See how easy that does? Just goes down. So incredibly easy. So you can see how easy this peels right down and comes right off. My dog is growling at somebody outside. Oh, I opened the windows. Does your dog do that? He has to bark at everybody that passes by. Silly dog. So I'm just taking the skin off. I would love to hear about what kind of recipes you make with pumpkin bread. My family loves the pumpkin cheesecake that I make as well. So yeah, I make pumpkin cheesecake, pumpkin bread. My husband loves the pumpkin pie at Costco though. I'm no match for that. I've tried making the pumpkin pie. I'm no match for Costco pumpkin pie. But I might have let this cool just a little too much. Oh, there we go. That came off pretty well. So now we want to scoop out the pumpkin. I take a spoon and I try and get out as much of the seeds as I can. We don't eat seeds, pumpkin seeds around here. I know probably a lot of other people do, but I don't normally make pumpkin seeds, but I know a lot of people do. Okay, so I'm now going to try with this next one. Ah, that's hot. Some of it's still hot. I'm going to get this second pumpkin done, and then I will open them up and show you what to do on the inside. Okay, I have cut these, so I'm going to go down the same line that I went through when I scored them. And there we go. So we have some of the stringy stuff, and just carefully scrape all that off and put it in the bucket. Probably compost this. If you have chickens, you could probably give this to the chickens. I don't know. I don't raise chickens, so I don't know. But from what I understand, they love pumpkin. And there's a second one. Scrape it. Get all that string off. And dump it in my bowl. I think I forgot to mention, you don't want to use just any pumpkin. The big pumpkins that you use, the jack-o'-lanterns for carving and decorating, those aren't very good for baking. They're very stringy, and their pumpkin flesh isn't the same as these sugar pumpkins. So I don't use the big carving pumpkins. I mean, you can if you want, but I think they have a different taste. The other pumpkin that I used last year, and I didn't get any this year, but I do plan on growing them eventually, is I think it's called the Cinderella Pumpkins. They look like the Cinderella pumpkin from the Disney movie, Cinderella. But I don't know if that's why they got their name that. I don't know, but they are like they have a pink orangey color, and they turned out to be so sweet and tasty. I'm going to plug my food processor in, and then I'm going to puree this. I'll show you what the consistency is. Okay. I don't fill this too full, and some of the juices will make it a little more pliable when you go to puree it. I don't add anything. I just add the pumpkin. I don't add any spices. I don't add cinnamon. Nothing. This is just strictly, all it is pumpkin, and I don't add any acidity or anything like that. And I just wanted to show you that is what it's supposed to look like. And like I said, no acidity, no water. I just use what is in the pumpkin. I puree that up, and then I put it all together in one big container, and I divide it out into cups, into Ziploc bags. So I'm going to take my measuring cup and scoop out my pumpkin and blend this all up until I'm all finished. And I got about 4 cups of pumpkin. Normally, if I would have done it the other way, where I chop it up and then I put it in the oven and bake it, I would have gotten about 2 cups. So by cooking it whole, I have saved myself 2 more cups. And that is how you puree pumpkin and making it easy. So I hope you like this video, and hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified of more videos I post every Friday. And if you hit the like button, you'll let YouTube know that you like my videos, and they're more apt to show them to other people. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. I'm going to finish filling these with pumpkin, and then I'm going to be making some pumpkin bread and possibly a pumpkin pie, cheesecake, and maybe even pumpkin cookies. So, bye for now.